here we are once again. Good evening, folks. Welcome to Friday Night Tech Talk. And I'm not late like I was last week. Last week I was a couple of minutes late. That upset me. But we're right on time today. And if you're new here, we discuss some of the tech articles from the last week, from last Friday to this Friday, every Friday night at this time. You can type in the comments, let me know you're there. If you're new, let me know where you're from. And of course, any opinions you might have, just put them in the comments and we'll discuss them a bit. Brian was in here, 30 minutes ago at least. So he's here. And of course, he started right off with his generosity even before the show started. The guy is so faithful, it's unbelievable. And here's Eleanor. Hey, Eleanor, glad you're here too. So, two of our very most faithful regulars are already in here. So, we'll see who else pops in. Haven't heard anything from Ted this week. Maybe he'll make it. That would be good. Last week, Will popped in for a split second, and I looked down, and he was there, and I looked again, and then he wasn't there, so he never came back. But I know Will gets off his job that he works all week. I think he gets home right around the time that we start the broadcast, or right after, and then he goes to sleep, and he gets up tomorrow morning, and he goes to work at his other job, and he works 48 hours straight through. How he does that, I don't know. So, but when we can get him, we're very grateful about it. So we've got Brian and Eleanor so far. So let me tell you how it goes here. Every week I put the stories on my webpage. So let me share a screen and show you that. Okay, if you go to MobileGeezer.wordpress.com, click on today's date, you'll get just the stories for this week. And so these are the show notes for tonight. So as I do every week, I will give you guys a quick preview of the stories we're going to be talking about tonight. So I just got a notification this week that Amazon has their own little clinic. So we'll talk about that. Now, the story that I got from The Verge, it looked like it was written back in November, but like I said, first time I heard about it, so I just thought I'd let you guys know about it. Got that on The Verge, and I'm going to show you what the site looks like on Amazon. So that's story number one. I usually try to save this heavy-duty story, what I consider the heavy-duty story of the week, for the second story to give people a chance to get in. So for me, the heavy-duty story this week, Pixel January 2024 update breaking phones. And it's all over the place. And it's been doing it since last week, I believe, when some people that updated their Pixel phones. And it seems to be so far just Pixel phones, because I guess they're the only ones that got the January update so far. And it's doing a lot of things to people's phones. So I didn't update my Pixel 7, and I don't believe Eleanor has updated her Pixel 6 either. So we'll go over it. It's not happening to everybody, just some people, but enough to make it worrisome. Then we're going to talk about the OnePlus 12. They had their event, and I ordered mine. And I said, pre-orders are live, great deals available. I have that on the Phone Arena story. And we'll talk about that. And then I guess all the big sites are going to passkeys. I know Microsoft has already gotten me. All I have to do is on this computer use my finger, and when I'm at home, my face, but I don't have to type in the passwords anymore. So I guess X is going to do that too. So I said X jumps on the passkey bandwagon for U.S. users. Right now, it's only for United States users. Then last week we talked about iOS 17.3, and now I found the story. Apple, I put it this way: Apple install iOS 17.3 and be much safer, because Phone Arena says they really want you to install this, because They've got some fixes in there, one big one. So we'll go over that. And then lastly, the Apple Vision Pro is out. I guess they'll be shipping it February 2nd. But turns out eBay has a whole bunch of listings for it, even though they haven't got it in their hands this week. I just said best to stay away from the many eBay listings of Apple Vision Pro. If you've got $3,500 to spare, maybe you want to go there. But so we'll talk about that. So those are the stories we're going to have this week. And let me stop screen. And yes, Brian said more pixel issues. Yes, it's getting kind of ridiculous that the leader of Android and the number one, the hopefully standard for Android phones, it's becoming every few months there's some major issue with some kind of Pixel phone. So now they can even seem to do an update without breaking people's phones. So it's very sad, really, I think. So I'll let you know if Ted comes in or even if Will comes in, and I'm sure Mike is out making money with DoorDash. Can't blame him for that. So we're going to go on to the stories. So I'm going to share screen. And back to my web page. So Amazon is officially in the healthcare business. And like I said, they might have been for a couple of months. I just found out. So I just thought I'd share it with you guys. So this is from The Verge. Amazon Clinic launches as a message-based virtual care service. So yes, it's nothing in person. Offering care for over 20 conditions like allergies, dandruff, hair loss, birth control, erectile dysfunction, acne, eczema, and genital herpes. Available in 32 states at law. So that's a pretty good start, I would think. And when we get through with the story, I'll actually show you their website. So let's go into read review, get rid of some of these ads. And I've made the read review version as big as I can, so you should be able to see it pretty well. So Amazon has launched a new virtual healthcare service. And like I said, this is from November 15th. Oh, from November 15th, 2022. I didn't even notice that. Well, I didn't know about this, so I figured I'd share it with you guys anyway. So Amazon has launched Amazon Clinic, a message-based online healthcare that offers treatments, and I read that already. Amazon Clinic requires customers to select the condition they require treatment for, and then choose a preferred provider from an available list of licensed telehealth providers. I didn't know there was such a thing as telehealth providers. After completing an intake questionnaire, sounds like you're being sucked into something, intake questionnaire. At least that's how my sick mind works. Customers can connect with clinicians for a consultation via a secure message-based portal. A personalized treatment plan will then be provided via the portal alongside any necessary prescriptions, which can be filled at any pharmacy of the customer's choosing, including Amazon Pharmacy. Got new comments here. Let's see. Let me go back to there. Eleanor said, "Don't tell me that isn't the kind of phone I have." Eleanor, you have the Pixel 6, which I've offered to update you a few times. But as I gather, this update issue isn't happening to that many people, just enough to make it worrying. So don't update yet, because I'm waiting for an answer from Google to say they've got the problem fixed. I haven't seen any answer anywhere yet. Brian says Samsung is the standard for Android. Sadly, well, I called it Google, but I like Samsung. So does Eleanor. I know that. And the Snake, welcome, sir. Glad to have you here. Which is best for dual recording camera? I'm not sure. Brian, do you have an opinion? Oh, here's mine. Yeah. You mean front-facing camera video with rear camera video recording simultaneously? Oh, yes. And that's exactly what, see, Brian knew what he meant. Yeah, he means for picture in picture. Okay. Well, I think the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra would probably be the best one. What do they call it? Director. They call it Director something. And the Snake says, yeah, AI doctor. It's the first time I've heard that expression. And Brian says, if I say Samsung devices, yeah, I agree. I think Samsung's probably the best one at it. But Moto does it. There's a bunch of phones that do it. But yeah, I would say the Samsung Galaxy is probably the best, better than anybody else at it. That's my opinion. All right, let's go back to the story. So over here, you can see some of the things that they tell you about, but I'll show you that when I show you their webpage. Consultations include up to 2 weeks of ongoing follow-up messages between customers and clinicians, and prices will be available up front. That's very good. These prices are set by the telehealth provider. That's got to be very different from state to state, I would think. Though Amazon claims that in many cases the cost of care is equivalent or less than the average copay. That's good, I guess. Amazon Clinic currently doesn't accept insurance. That's not good, but notes that the service is FSA and HSA eligible and that customers may be able to use their insurance for medications prescribed through Amazon Clinic. Okay. So I guess you pay them, but you can use your insurance for the medications themselves. Birth control is available through the service alongside treatment for common conditions such as erectile dysfunction, UTIs, sinusitis, and yeast infections. The clinic also provides additional treatments for pre-diagnosed conditions such as eczema and genital herpes and can be used to renew existing medication prescriptions. That's good. For conditions like migraines, asthma, and high blood pressure. The virtual clinic will operate alongside the retail giant's own Amazon pharmacy service and primary care tech provider One Medical, which is in the process of being acquired by Amazon. So I would think that probably would have happened by now for approximately $3.9 billion. That's easy for Amazon. Amazon Clinic will initially operate in 32 states across the U.S., with plans to expand in the coming months. So my guess is it's probably in more states than that now. Like I said, this was the first I heard about it. Amazon's original telehealth service will be shut down December 31st. So that would have been the year before that. So I'm sure that's gone by now. Amazon accidentally leaked today's news. Remember, this is an old story. By publishing and then swiftly removing a YouTube video on Tuesday last week containing details about the Amazon Clinic program. This also isn't Amazon's first foray into virtual healthcare, having launched its original telehealth service, Amazon Care, back in 2019. I had no clue. That service, which will be shut down, so I'm sure it's shut down already, started as an exclusive offering for Amazon employees and then expanded to service employees of external companies. It's not a complete enough offering for the large enterprise customers we have been targeting and wasn't going to work long term. Okay, that makes sense why they shut it down. We'll have to wait and see if Amazon Clinic is a complete enough solution, though better accessibility to treatments for common ailments, especially on the scale that Amazon is capable of providing, could have benefits outside of those using the service. Treating common conditions at home through the use of virtual healthcare offered by Amazon and others could lessen the burden on traditional in-person healthcare service. Well, yeah, they want us to do everything not in person anymore, leading to shorter waiting times to diagnose and treat other more serious ailments. So, like I said, it's an old story. It was new to me, and I believe I got an email. That's how I heard about it. So let me get out of that. Let me stop screen for a minute. And let's see, who else is in here? Here's Annette. Hey, Annette, glad you're here. Another one of the wonderful regulars. Here's Ted. I hope he comes in. Anyway, welcome, Ted, but you know you belong in here with me. You're the youthful part of this show. Okay, so hopefully Ted will come in. Meanwhile, we will go back to stories. Like, so any of you who've already knew about the Amazon clinic, it was new to me, so I thought I'd share the story that I did find. So right now I'm going to share their website. So Amazon Clinic, healthcare for those can't wait days, Okay. So here's all things you can acid reflux, acne. You can see everything here. So if you just go to clinic.amazon.com, you can get right to it. So maybe it's good. I haven't tried it. So just wanted to make you guys aware of it. So let's get out of that. And see. Oh, Michael Pepper. Hey, Michael, good to see you. He says telehealth is very helpful as someone who deals with anxiety. Having access to virtual appointments has been life-changing for me. Well, that's good to know. Now, Michael is young, very, very tech-savvy, so you should probably listen to what he's saying. So glad he's giving you a good recommendation, at least telehealth in general. So that's good. You guys know me. I'm the exercise fanatic. I'm as healthy as all get out, so I almost never need doctors, but that's just me. So I'm going to go to the next story. I'm watching to see if Ted does pop in. And this is what I consider the heavy-duty story of the week, because this is not good. Once again, Google's making themselves look. Will was the one who found this or pointed out this story to me. He put it on our Friday Night Tech Talk group in Telegram, and I went out and found the story right away. And there was a whole bunch of articles on it, as you can guess. So I just said Pixel January 2024 update, breaking phones. I pulled it from Digital Trends, so let's go take a look there. And this is from 3 days ago by Joe Maring. And I've told you before, Joe Maring is a very good writer. I've known him as a writer since he was mid-teen, since he was in high school, that's for sure. And that's been a while. So don't update your Google Pixel phone, which I didn't. You might break it. Like I said, from 3 days ago. Let's drop it into reader view and get rid of some of these ads. Okay. One of the reasons to buy a Google Pixel phone is to be first in line to receive software updates. Yeah, here's where it gets us. From new Android versions to important security patches. Unfortunately, one of the latest updates from Google is breaking some Pixel phones. Over the weekend, a Reddit user on our Google Pixel subreddit compiled a list of threads. That's not good. From nearly a dozen Pixel owners reporting issues with their phones after downloading the most recent January 2024 Google Play System update. What's wrong? In short, the January 2024 update appears to be causing internal storage access issues. This means missing files, unsaved screenshots, camera crashes, etc. The same thing happened last October. So it's like every 4 or 5 months, we're going to have this from the company that should be better at than everybody else. You would think, at least I would think. So, more commercials. Okay, to make matters worse, it appears that the January 2024 update has affected a lot of Pixel models. Issues have been reported for the Pixel 5, Pixel 6, and Pixel 7. So, Eleanor, you have the 6, I have the 7. Even the Pixel 8 and Pixel 8 Pro, the brand new ones, also susceptible. So it doesn't seem to matter which one you have, just if you have the bad luck of being one of the ones who gets the problem. To make matters worse, Google's support team hasn't been very helpful so far. One user says that Pixel support wasn't helpful at all, while another writes Pixel support's line of troubleshooting questions have been very basic and they don't seem to recognize that it's a widespread issue caused by the January update. I bet you they know it by now. So what's the solution here? Until Google acknowledges the issue and releases a fix for it, that's what we're hoping, your best bet is to factory reset your phone. So I would say don't update if you're not having problems. Numerous reports across Reddit indicate that a factory reset gets things back to normal. Before proceeding, you'll want to ensure you have a recent cloud backup so you don't lose everything on your phone. Yeah, good idea. As a reminder, these issues are only happening to Pixel users. That's probably the only phone that's gotten the update so far. On the January 2024 Google Play System update. To see which version your Pixel is running, open the Settings app and tap Security and Privacy, then System and Updates. My Pixel 8 Pro is still running November 1st, 2023. I don't even have my Pixel 7 with me, but I'm sure mine's probably running November or December. Which could also be the case for you. If so, avoid downloading any new updates until Google has an answer for what's going on. Yeah, so we're hoping we get a fix, and that comes as part of the update. So if you haven't updated, don't update if you have a Pixel. That's the best advice. Let me stop screen for a minute. Let's see. As far as the telehealth, Michael says he goes to counseling every week via virtual. That's good to know. Another option, if any of you haven't tried it. So, the Pixel thing, to me, that was the very serious one of the week. Now we'll go on to what I consider more pleasant. Still watching to see if Ted does have time to come in. So back to sharing screen. Of course, if I'm by myself, as usual, it would be a very quick show. But OnePlus 12 pre-orders are live. Great deals available. I took this from Phone and Rail. Like I had, their event was Tuesday, and I ordered my OnePlus 12 on Tuesday, pre-ordered on Tuesday. Mine is supposed to show up on February 12th, which is 2 weeks and 3 days from now. I'm hoping it comes early, but it is in process, so we're good to go. The uber powerful OnePlus 12 is finally up for U.S. pre-orders with amazing launch deals in tow. He's saying finally because it came out in China in the middle of last month, which he'll talk about. So this was 3 days ago by Adrian Diaconescu, and he writes a bunch of their stories on Phone Arena too. Oh, and there's going to be 3 Phone Arena stories in a row. I didn't plan it that way. That's just how it came out, but you know they're a good site. So let's go into read a view and get rid of some of these ads. Formally unveiled all the way back in December of last year in China, the next big OnePlus thing is ready at long last to take the entire world by storm. And yeah, you're saying a lot of reviews out there for it already. That obviously includes the US, where the state-of-the-art OnePlus 12 is up for pre-order right now at a recommended price of $799.99. And you'll get good deals. This I'll tell you about it, that you don't have to pay that much. Ahead of a nationwide shipment start scheduled for February 6th. So supposedly February 6th, that's why I'm thinking maybe mine will get here before the 12th. These are basically the only regional questions that had remained unanswered prior to today's big global launch. Yeah, it launched here and a bunch of other places. But if you somehow missed both last month's announcement and the ensuing U.S., Europe, and India, so today, this week was U.S., Europe, and India, focused buzz-building campaign conducted by OnePlus itself, let us quickly recap what this bad boy is all about. Oh, and by the way, I believe the Indian ones in my area of Tennessee, it started at 9 o'clock Eastern time, and I was looking at the Indian one, but it was basically the same thing. I think the official U.S. one started at 10 o'clock. So I watched the whole thing either way. A wall-to-wall Android super flagship available at a fraction of the Galaxy S24 Ultra's price. You're coming right behind the S24 Ultra release. Of course, you're seeing all kinds of comparisons with that phone, and pretty good comparisons too. Is it fair to compare the OnePlus 12 with the quite possibly best Android phone money can buy in early 2024? Well, why not? Granted, the Galaxy S24 Ultra does come with a built-in stylus, while this new challenger does not. But other than that, it's pretty obvious that OnePlus envisions its latest and greatest ultra-high-end handset as a top-shelf rival for all of the greatest phones in the world in pretty much all departments. And like I said, all these reviews are comparing them to the Ultra. And Tech Odyssey, he made a good point. I think it was Tech Odyssey, but said that he thinks the OnePlus 12 is better than the Galaxy S24 Plus and maybe just below the S24 Ultra, so right in between. And considering how much cheaper it is, that's pretty good. So this is showing the prices. You can see the OnePlus 12 released at $800 for the 256. And right now, the deals are giving you the 512 for $100 less than that. So pretty good. And you can see the S24 Ultra, $1,300 compared to $800. And the Plus was $1,000 again compared to $800. And like I said, you're going to get it at least for $700 or less. I ended up getting $220 off of mine. And the 8 Pro, again, $1,059. So you can see price-wise, it's a great, great bargain. On the camera capabilities front, for instance, the OnePlus 12 doesn't feature a 200 megapixel super sensor, more than making up for that flaw with a 64 megapixel periscope telephoto lens and 48 megapixel ultra wide angle shooter backing up a primary 50 megapixel cam that's clearly impressive in its own right, despite holding an important apparent disadvantage compared to the competition. Ted is here. You are here, aren't you?
I am.
We don't see he's pulling a Will on us. We don't see him, but we can hear him.
Yeah, I'm at the bar from Will for today.
All right, I'm going to continue on. We're talking about the OnePlus 12.
Mm-hmm.
The fourth generation Hasselblad camera system is interestingly not mentioned in a neat and amusing little chart on the official OnePlus website. I guess it's probably this chart.
Mm-hmm.
Where the company's newest flagship is, that's it, pitted against the competitors S24 Ultra, Plus, and 8 Pro in a few key departments. So we just saw that. As highlighted there, and already pointed out in our own detailed head-to-head comparison, I said everybody's comparing it to the S24 and mostly to the Ultra. The OnePlus 12 packs a remarkably large 5,400 milliamp battery with an unusually fast, check this out, 80-watt wired and 50-watt wireless charging support, as well as a cutting-edge Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processor. And everybody's saying this 50-watt wireless charges faster than most phones charge wired. So that's
That
good.
is true, especially if you have a Samsung, Apple, or
Exactly.
Pixel phone.
Exactly. So that is really, really good. So OnePlus, one of the guys in one of the reviews said, I guess I'm back on the OnePlus bandwagon. And I said, yeah, I guess I am too, because I have the OnePlus Open also. So, and I was off the bandwagon for a while. So I'm back as a fan. The 6.82-inch OnePlus, that's a big screen too. Plasma is not only bigger than the competition, but brighter as well, going all the way up to 4,500 nits. A couple of the guys are saying that's the brightest screen ever on a phone, while supporting the same 120 hertz refresh rate technology as essentially every other device in or around this price range. Now, I did see one review comparing it with the S24 Ultra, and outside in the sunlight, he said he couldn't see a whole lot of difference, but it's certainly bright enough that you're always going to see it in the sunlight. And so was the S24s. I think that's 2,600 nits. So they're both very, very bright. So should you pre-order the OnePlus 12? Well, I already did. While we obviously can't answer that question for you, as it greatly depends on your personal preferences and loyalty to one brand or another, you are definitely advised to at least consider a purchase at $800 right now. Yeah, that's why I skipped the S24, because I knew I couldn't get both. That can buy you an entry-level configuration with 256 gig. Like I said, right now you're going to get 512 because they're giving that to you. Internal storage space and 12 gigabytes of RAM, or an extra 4 gigs of memory and twice that local digital hoarding room for a limited time. That's right. OnePlus is taking a page from Samsung's playbook. That's very true. This highly anticipated, long overdue launch, offering a free memory upgrade straight off the bat with no strings attached and no hoops to jump through. That's true. Pretty much everybody that pre-orders is getting the 512 instead of the 256 for the same price. Even better, you can get an extra $100 discount in the form of guaranteed instant trade-in credit with any device in any condition. So any phone you give them, they're going to give you at least $100. For me, I got $220. Now get this, and I'm trading in a Samsung Galaxy A54. So even for that phone, I ended up getting $220, which surprised me because I didn't think I'd get that much. So I'm quite happy. Now, what that means for me is I won't have a Samsung phone for a while, but as I told you guys all along, I love my S23 Ultra, and probably by next month, I will probably pick up a used S23 Ultra because that was the best phone they ever made, in my opinion. Okay. Of course, if you have something better, newer, and functional to trade in, you can save as much as $700 and end up paying just $100 for this phenomenal Galaxy S24 Ultra alternative. On top of everything, OnePlus 12 pre-orders also qualify for a $30 coupon that can be used toward a OnePlus Buds 3. That's true. I passed on that so far. Almost literally putting the cherry on top of one of the most delicious value cakes in today's Android landscape. How could you possibly refuse all this super premium goodness? Yeah, it's really, really good deals there. So what about you, Ted? You interested?
Yeah, I've been interested in a OnePlus phone for some time since the Open came out.
Well, yeah. I would think if you're going to get one, this would be the time.
This or the Open?
Yeah, well, I already have the Open.
So this or the Open?
Yeah, I would. So you're going to get one or the other, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
What would you recommend between the two?
Well, I don't have the 12 in my hands yet, but from what I'm seeing, it sounds to me like, the Open, to me and to a lot of other people, has great cameras, especially for a folding phone. It sounds to me from what I'm seeing in reviews that OnePlus 12 is tiny bit better on cameras, just barely. And of course, they have the latest Snapdragon. So that may be the difference. So I think I would, you being a photographer, I think I would go for the OnePlus 12. Unless like me, you're interested in the folding phone, which is why I got the Open.
I mean, I am due for a folding phone just to try it out one time.
Okay, well, like I said, when I ordered mine, of course, I was at the pre-order stage. When I ordered mine, I ended up getting $900 off. So that's because I traded in an S23 Ultra, which is why I need to buy a used one now. So, okay, are you ready to do a story, or you want to talk about the OnePlus 12 or OnePlus some more? Are you there?
Yeah, all right.
All right, so the next one up is the story about X. You going to take that?
Well, yes.
All right, I'm going to sharing screen right now.
I'm giving it to you. I'll give it to you.
Okay. X jumps on the passkey bandwagon for U.S. users. I pulled it up on Phone Arena. So whenever Ted is ready, we will go.
Thank you. X introduces passkeys for iOS users in the U.S. Screw those Android ones, right? This is by Sveta.
No. It's Sveta Ermankova. Like I said, you watch enough Russian tennis players, you learn how to pronounce these names year after year. Okay, go ahead.
As of 2024, passkeys are still in the early stages of adoption. but they are gaining momentum as a promising alternative to traditional passwords. Many big tech companies such as Apple, Microsoft, and Google are already allow passwordless logins, and X, formerly Twitter, is following suit. How do you feel about that, George? Because I don't like it. I went through all this trouble to get a password manager, and now they all just send me like I go and log in. Because even my favorite company, Peak Design, they pretend I don't have a password anymore. But I went through all the trouble of getting a password manager for this very thing. What do you think about that, George?
I think it moves on. Tech moves on. We're moving past passwords. I think that's how I see it. So I think it's a good thing. I mean, with this computer, what on Microsoft, I just have to touch it with my finger and I get in. I don't have to put in. And my home computer, I just have to look at the camera to get into any of my Microsoft stuff. So I think it's good. But like I said, it's just part of progress, in my opinion.
Because people don't want to get password managers because they keep using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
No, what was the big password manager about 3 or 4 years ago? I had one of the big ones anyway, but it got to be a pain in the butt for me. And then this one would go out of business, and that one would go out of business, and I just think this is better. Using my own face, my own finger, it's a lot easier.
Because you never got a password manager, even though we all told you to.
No, I did. I had one before. I had a password manager even before you and I met. Back in 2018, I had one before that. And I used it for, I don't know, a couple of years at least. And it got to be a pain in the butt. For me, anyway.
All right. So X has jumped on the passkey bandwagon, now letting iOS users on iPhones and iPads enjoy this nifty security feature, no matter if they're rocking the free or premium X experience. Currently available in the US, X has not disclosed the timeline for extending this feature to Android or even other countries. Creating a passkey for X means you can say goodbye to the hassle of entering a password entering a strong password every time you log on. Now you can simply trust your device's security feature, like Face ID, Touch ID, or passcode, get you effortlessly into the account. To create a passkey in X, just follow these easy steps in the iOS app. Log in with the account you want to secure. Then go to your account settings and privacy, security, account access, and additional password protection. In this menu, choose passkey. You will be prompted to enter your password and just follow the steps. From there, setting up the passkeys involves your device generating both a public and a private key. This is new.
Yeah, and I think this is how they all work. They keep a key and you have a public key. That's what makes it secure.
Okay. Your device keeps the private key secure, so it's device specific, while the shared public key is stored on the platform you're signing into, like X, for example.
Right. So to me, that's quite secure, in my opinion.
Okay. I didn't know that's like how the sausage is made, though. Once the setup is complete, you can opt for a passkey instead of a password to log into your X account. Oh, it's a passkey.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, the passkey is like whatever they email to you, right? In your email address?
No. I think you can make it yourself.
Okay. Your device will verify your identity using the public key. Conveniently, these passkeys work seamlessly across all devices signed into the same iCloud account.
Yes, right now it's only for iOS.
If you haven't spotted X's passkeys feature yet, no worries. The rollout may still be in progress, so keep an eye out for the update. If you're on an iPhone.
Yeah, exactly.
You're on the West.
So I don't know. I think it's pretty secure. I just think it's progress. That's how I see it. I like it. Like I said, I've been using it on Microsoft, and I like it very much. See what else we got new in the comments here. Here's Renz. Hey, Renz. Glad you're here, brother. I know you're busy at work, but appreciate you stopping in and seeing us and saying hi. Renz is one of our most faithful, along with Brian and Eleanor and Annette. for the most faithful people I know. Ren says hello, Ted.
Hi, Renz. Glad you're here with us.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, so with the passkeys. So now I'm going to move on to the next story. And we had iOS 17 story last week, but I found this one on Phone Arena, once again, Phone Arena, because they really want you, Apple really wants you to install. I just said, Apple, install iOS 17.3 and be much safer. So let's go into Phone Arena and we'll explain. Apple wants you to install iOS 17.3. I installed it right after last week's show. ASAP, thanks to get the 16 security issues patched by the update. So in last week's show, we mentioned the one that they wanted you to cover with that security update, but turns out there's 16 altogether. So this is by Alan Friedman, who writes a lot of their stories. So let's jump into read a view. Okay, the other day we told you that Apple had released iOS 17.3 and told you that you should install it right away because of this is why, the stolen device protection feature, which I gather is a great feature, which I talked about last week, which requires that certain actions be verified by Face ID or Touch ID when you're not at a familiar place such as home or office. More sensitive actions such as changing the Apple ID password or resetting Face ID will now be, now get this, delayed for 1 hour from the time requests to perform such actions are made. And this makes a lot of sense to me. The hour gives the victim of an iPhone theft the time to discover that her iPhone has been stolen and alert Apple about the theft. I think that's pretty smart. After the hour, Face ID or Touch ID will still be required to complete the sensitive action. So I think that's a pretty good system. Hopefully, this will prevent criminals from using strong-arm tactics to gain possession of the iPhones that they know the passcodes of. Once these bad actors take your phone with the passcode, they can turn it into their phone in seconds, have their way with your financial apps, and use your credit card to purchase expensive items. Just in case you missed the directions on how to enable this feature, go to Settings, Face ID, and Passcode, and turn on Stolen Device Protection by tapping on Turn on Protection, which I have not done as yet, but I have my iPhone right here. So let's go in there and see if I can get that done. So we're going to Settings, Face ID, and Passcode. I always have I'll do this. Okay. I was going to say, I always have a hard time finding this stuff. And turn on stolen device protection. I'm looking for stolen device. There it is. Yeah, I updated it, but I hadn't turned on. So now I have mine turned on, folks. So that's good. Very easy to do, just following those directions. Good to know. So there's the update. But Apple is warning iPhone users that there are other reasons, and this is why we have the story this week, to install iOS 17.3 on your phone immediately. On Apple's support page, there are 16 other reasons, all vulnerabilities that can be exploited until you install the update and patch the flaws. For example, CVE 2024-23222, 23213 and 23214 are three vulnerabilities found in the WebKit browser engine that could allow an attacker to execute code. So more reason to get that update done. Apple support page says something about CVE 2024-23222 that might make the hair on your neck stand straight up. The page states, Apple is aware of a report that this issue may have been exploited, to which we add yikes. 23206 is another flaw involving WebKit that could allow a malicious web page to fingerprint the user. I'm glad I did the update. 23.2.11 found that Safari could allow a user's private browsing activity to be found in settings. The other flaws patched in iOS include 23.2.12 Apple Neural Engine, 23.2.18 Core Crypto, 23.2.08 Kernel, 207 Mail Search, 223 NS Spell Checker, 219 Reset Services, 203 and CVE 204 Shortcuts, and 215 TCC. I don't even know what TCC is. So it tells you to install the update right there. So I'm glad I did it. So we have opposites going here. Don't update Google. Don't update Google, because that may mess up your phone. This one, make sure you update. So Apple's way ahead on this one, I would say. So Ted, you don't have an iPhone anymore, right? Okay. Right.
Traded in for this Pixel 7.
Okay. So, all right, nothing new in the comments. Okay. So we're going to go on to our next story, if that's okay. Ted, you're going to get the last story. Is that good with you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. So this is about eBay. I said best to stay away from the many eBay listings of Apple Vision Pro's headsets. Remember, you can't get them yet, but I gather they're out there and ready for you. So this is a pretty good story, I thought. All right, Ted, whenever you're ready.
Sure. Hundreds of Apple Vision Pro or pre-orders ended up on eBay, and you'll pay a premium if you want one. Let's see. This is by Lance Ulanoff.
Yeah, he does a lot of their stories.
Yeah, sounds like so far from the headlines, he's telling me something that we already know, usually the case. So getting a handle on just how Vision Pro mixed reality headsets that Apple sold in its first weekend isn't easy, but finding out if everyone legitimately bought one is even harder. Estimates put the weekend Vision Pro sales haul at somewhere around 180,000 units. And while Apple isn't confirmed, there are some indication that the Cupertino giant sold out of the spatial computing launch product. However, a quick perusal of the popular auction site eBay turns up hundreds and hundreds of Vision Pro headsets. Since Apple has yet to ship its first Vision Pro, pre-order started on January 19 and it ships on February 2nd, the majority of eBay offers appears to be pre-order placeholders. In one auction listing, the seller wrote all caps are his. This is a pre-order arriving on February 2nd. It will ship out same day as long as it arrives to me before 4 p.m. Well, that's nice of him to let people know.
Yeah.
Some listings show a marketing image of the Vision Pro, while others simply a proof of an existing pre-order. Prices range from under $600 to over $7,000. These are bids. The base 256 gigabit model currently lists for $3,500. The Vision Pro is not shipping outside the US, but are the pre-orders though? While markups on eBay are often expected, it's hard to imagine anyone paying double for the still untested mixed reality headset. Well, that's not that hard for these Apple sheeple. More some are the sub $1,000 offers. There's no way a seller will pay Apple's roughly $3,500 upfront cost and then take a loss, right? The low prices are simply come on to drive interest in bids. And like I say, people, if it's too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah, this is for there's always suckers out there, and this is for the suckers who are dumb enough to buy into it. Yeah.
Why all the excitement and the unsurprising eBay activity? Apple Vision Pro is special. It's Apple's first new product category since 2015, which was the Apple Watch. Apple, with this high-end, powerful wearable computer, it has an M2. Can you scroll up a bit?
Yeah.
Apple is trying with its high-end and powerful wearable computer and R1 chips inside to launch an entirely new spatial computing category. I've had 4 experiences with the Vision Pro and can agree that it's not quite like anything on the market. I'm especially impressed with its gaze and gesture tracking ability to shift fluidly. And from full immersion to partial and then fully complete pass to with realistic augmented reality. It has the potential to change entertainment, communication, gaming, and productivity. It also stands a fair chance of flopping since consumers still don't entirely understand why they should spend thousands of dollars for something that can only use by putting it on their heads. Moreover, if you wear glasses, you'll need special $99 to $149 Zeiss inserts to correct your vision inside the Vision Pro. Otherwise, the system's two 4K micro LEDs display will look terrible. Without using Apple's guided ordering system, you won't be able to receive the right inserts at the same time you receive the headsets from the seller. I contacted Apple about the eBay license if they have any concerns. I can imagine they're not pleased about it.
So I gather they didn't give an answer, but I'm sure they're not pleased about it. But like I said, they're not going to see any of this until February 2nd. But I don't think anybody should be dumb enough to be ordering it from eBay, especially on a product that hasn't even been released yet.
Here.
So anyway, I just thought it was important that we let people know that they're already out there. Let's see. Snake said, why older phones have more example 32 millimeter lens and new or wide like 20. I'm not following. Are you getting it, Ted, what he's saying? Ted, are you there? Oh, you're on mute.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Are you understanding what he's saying here?
Why older phones have more example 32 millimeter and new are he's asking about the focal length of phones. He's noticing the new phones, they shoot wider.
Okay, gotcha.
Especially on the better lenses, the better sensors.
Right.
Whereas older phones, they were kind of a tighter focal length.
I'm glad I asked the photographer. That's good. Okay, so we've already gotten through all of the stories.
Well, hold on. You have to answer the question, George.
Well, why do you think I asked you? Answer the question. Can you?
But he's asking you.
No, he's asking us. We are part of the show. So let's give the guy who's got the expertise to give the answer. How's that?
I see your point, sir.
Okay. So give him a nice answer that we can all understand.
All right. Well, older phones, the focal length was usually tighter because one, it allowed manufacturing was more accessible for the phones, the lenses to be more accessible and to keep to a nicer form factor. So they didn't have to do so much work on the lenses because that those parts were readily available, I believe. And with a tighter focal length, the aperture was always wide open on these phones, so it would look nicer whenever you took a picture of a person because you had a better separation of the background and the subject.
Because the aperture was wider?
Yeah, because the aperture is always going to be wide open as it can be.
Okay.
But, and LG is also in part to blame for this. Especially when they put out the ultra wide lenses, over time, wider focal lengths was more useful on a smartphone because you could just easily capture just more.
Like the 24 millimeter, that he said.
Like the 24, or it's actually more like 20 millimeters or even 21 or 18 for some. That's the prime or the main sensor focal length. So that's why you usually see wide as 24 mil or 18 on some smartphones.
Okay. Now you expected me to be able to answer that? Come on now.
Yeah. Oh, the amount of photo comparisons you do, yes.
Yes, but I don't get into focal lengths and all that kind of stuff. That's for you photographer people, not me.
But I mean, when you're comparison, like, yeah, that always plays a part. The comparison, like, the focal length of the main
But
sensor.
I
Right?
don't go into talking about that kind of stuff. It's like Anthony, my Project 13. He always says, I'm not a photographer. Well, neither am I. I'm just trying to show you the difference between two cameras. That's all.
Well,
So
yeah. Well, yeah, but the snake is that he does notice a good thing, like a very tangible thing, because before the second sensor was always telephoto. Now,
okay.
if there's going to be a second sensor, it's usually first ultra wide.
Right.
No,
That's
the
true.
market has decided that wide sensors and even ultra wide sensors are more useful than telephoto.
Yeah, and I think part of the reason that the market has decided that because you used to see, and I'm talking about the bigger YouTubers, that when they had the other lens, they would have said, "Oh, it'd be better if we had the wider lens." And I think phone companies started listening. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was glad you were able to explain that. What does he say? He's saying, I noticed that higher focal has more natural look on selfie. Wide is more slimmer than the face. Okay, so the wider one makes the face look slimmer, but it looks more natural on the higher focal on selfie. He's saying that right?
Yeah. Well, on the wide, it's gonna look slim on the face as long as that face is dead center. If that face moves anywhere like a millimeter off the center, then it's actually gonna get wider, especially if
Oh,
it's like
really?
close to the
Okay, see,
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's
I
wide.
wouldn't have thought of that.
Like think wide, like it's gonna make the face wider if you move from the center.
Okay, okay, all right, so good. So Snake kind of knows his stuff. We've got another knowledgeable viewer here. I think that's great. So we have gotten through all of the stories quickly, and we managed to pick Ted's brain a little bit. That's even better. So anything new on your electronic bike?
No. No. In fact, I put my old bike in the shop.
You said you were going to, so I guess
Yeah.
you haven't got it back yet.
Yeah, I haven't got it back yet. I'll probably get it back by Monday.
Oh, okay, good. So you've been going to work on the other one,
On
right?
the car. No, I've been going to work. I've been driving to work.
Oh,
It's
okay. So you're going to wait till you get your other one back before you go
yeah,
back.
Monday.
Okay.
Till
Oh,
then.
I have a little bit of an updated news on my Mini Countryman, the car that I got.
Yes, the
Keep
beautiful
in mind
mini
it's a
SUV that you
2016.
have.
Well, I've learned a lot about minis and a lot about Mini Countrymen watching videos and stuff. Well, turns out the one I have now, Mini was the brand, and the Countryman is a model that they made. But when you say Mini Cooper, well, Cooper came from John Cooper, who wanted to get involved, I gather, when BMW owns Mini, and they're the ones who've been making them since, I think, 2002. So in any case, John Cooper wanted to get involved because he just liked minis. I gather all the British big shots, all the Beatles, a lot of the stars, Michael Caine, they all loved Mini Coopers. So anyway, so Cooper wanted to get involved, and he talked BMW into doing some specialty ones designated by him. Now he's a race car driver, so if you get a Mini Cooper and you open a door and you see a badge that says John Cooper Works, you've gotten the upgraded fastest one there is, and that's what I've got. So I've got a dual turbo, and this thing is like a rocket ship. It's an automatic, but it's got paddle shifters, and I noticed today and yesterday I gave them a shot. When I start hitting those paddle shifters when I take off, even though it's an arm, boy, does this thing go. And I mean, it really goes. So it turns out I have like the upgraded fastest they made for that year. Who knew?
Lucky man.
Yeah, so it's nice to have. So
It was
when
a
I get
lot
on a
of fun, and it
highway,
was
if
the
I want to
best
go,
fun,
it'll
right?
go, and it'll run away from most things that are out there. But like pretty much everybody knows, I'm not the speeding type. I gave up speeding back in '86. So
Don't get tempted, George.
no, I won't. Keep in mind, I have a motorcycle that does 150, and I know it does 150 because I did it once just to prove it. So if I don't speed with that, I'm probably not going to speed with a car. Even at work, I'm known as the guy who never speeds. I drive 5 over always. That's all I ever do. So anyway, just thought it was interesting that I got such a cool car. The more I learn about this car, the more I like it. So we've gotten through. Snake says. Snake did thank you for the answer, by the way. And he also said it's a nice car, Mini, especially in convertible. Yeah, I don't have a convertible. Suspension is soft or hard. Suspension is quite soft. It rides extremely well. Matter of fact, I took it around a couple of turns coming over here today, and I'm like, boy, that thing really, really hugs the road. So, like I said, the more I learn about it, the more I drive it, the more I like it. So, and I've seen a couple of videos from a couple of guys who have more expertise at this stuff than me that have the same 2016 that I have, and they're driving it around, loving the way it feels. So, very happy with it. So that's it for tonight, folks. Thanks to Ted for his expertise. Thanks to Snake for coming in and participating so well. I hope you come back and keep participating, Snake. I really appreciate it. And we will be back next week. You never know when Will's going to join us, but Ted keeps coming in. So we didn't get to see his face today, but we got to pick his brain. So that's just as good. All right, Ted. Say good night to the folks.
Good night, folks.
Okay. All right, folks. See you next week. And always remember, we all do better when we love each other. And here comes our